everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 168. Andrew Eisen here. You are there. So, hope you're all having a lovely week. So, I would like to start out today's podcast and bring everyone up to speed on my thoughts on The Mandalorian, which is its third episode released Friday, Thursday, and end of this week sometime. As I mentioned last week, I was a little soft on the show. Didn't dislike it, but wasn't particularly moved by the first two episodes. So I watched the third episode with fingers crossed, and I thought it was a step up. Which, even though what happens in episode 3 is exactly what you expect to happen given the setup of the first two episodes, I still found it a much more compelling watch than the first two. So, hopefully, Mandalorian keeps it up, and I enjoy it, because really, that's all that matters with television shows, is whether I enjoy them or not. Trying to think. Let's see. What did I like? What's interesting is there's still a bunch of stuff that just kind of made me do that. For example, I don't like that they're calling him Mando. That's dumb to me. In the first episode, someone calls him Mando, and it came across like it was a slur, because he's a Mandalorian, and he says it with kind of a sneer. He's like, "What are you doing here, Mando?" And but no, everyone just seems to address him as like, hey, these are my friends, Jenny and Brian and Mando. So Mando's apparently his name. Either that or everyone uses a slur to address him. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. That's just weird to me. Because again, it came off like that was an insult or a slur or something. It was said very derisively. But no, that's apparently he knew this Mandalorian. Oh, that's Mando the Mandalorian. Maybe Hugh Grant gets it feels weird because he's Hugh the human. I don't know. Or anyone else named Hugh. It's the only Hugh that came to mind. Hugh Hefner. There's another Hugh. There are other Mandalorians, and they all have a code name or a catchphrase. This is the way. And like, it's basic. It's the Heil Hitler of the Mandalorians. You know how the Nazis were all Heil Hitler to greet each other. Apparently, Mandalorians were like, just with less bigotry, or just this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. This is the way. I'm going out for broccoli and Triscuits and milk. Do you want anything? No. Be back soon? Yeah, see you later. This is the way. This is the way. And then you come home. Hey, I'm back. This is the way. Hey, welcome back. This is the way. So it's just something they do. But it wasn't anything we heard from either Mando or the lady who forges his armor. It feels like something they unless I missed it. It feels like something they just inserted in the third episode. We're like, oh, we forgot to do the "this is the way" thing. And then the Mando gets bailed out by some other Mandalorians at the end, and they cover for him while he runs to his ship and flies away. And he seems to be flying just kind of horizontal to the ground instead of up and into outer space for a while. I don't know. The clouds are lovely. Maybe just, taking in the sights before heading out into the dark, dull void of space. And he looks out his window, and one of the Mandalorians is just, flying next to him, just, this is the way. This is the way. And then he banks and leaves. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a hell of a jetpack. I didn't expect the jetpack to be able to fly that high or that fast. I believe Obi-Wan actually mentions in the second episode 2 or 3. Um, I think it's episode 2. Yeah, it's episode 2, the one with Jango Fett. They mentioned that the jetpack has limited range. It's odd to me that his jetpack can fly that high and that fast. But oh well. I mean that doesn't. Well, the episode's ruined. No, it's just something that struck me as odd. Um, Jordan says, so far it's one of the best Disney Star Wars projects. For some reason, to me, it seems all the spin-offs are way better than the Disney mainline. Though Solo had its ups and downs, but was decent. Solo, I was, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It definitely felt like a movie that was rewritten halfway through, probably because it was. But yeah, there's some enjoyable stuff in it. I am not caught up with caught up implies I've watched any of them. I watched the first, I think, season of the Clone Wars animated series back when they were like 3 minutes long. Um, and I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I just was like, eh. So I never watched any of the Clone Wars stuff, even though it's like 6 seasons or something like that. I haven't seen Rebels. I haven't seen the Lego one. I haven't seen any of them. So I'm the only non episodic Star Wars properties I've seen is the first few Clone Wars cartoons, the first 3 episodes of The Mandalorian, Solo and Rogue One, and the 2 Ewok movies. Ewok Adventure's pretty good. Return to Endor is really not. It's very bad. I mean, the Ewok Adventure is even hokey, but if you are 8 years old, or you can at least put yourself in the mindset of an 8-year-old, it's Lord of the Rings light. I mean, or rather, it's Fellowship of the Ring light. I mean, that's exactly. I think that's why Ewok Adventure works so damn well. I mean, come to think of it, it's almost exactly beat for beat, structurally, the Fellowship of the Ring. Anyway, we can talk spoilers for Mando. Hello, Chaos. Um, let's see. So, but aside from all that, I quite enjoyed the episode because even though it was incredibly predictable, I mean, uh, and I feel that Carl Weathers, it's nice to see him in a movie. I feel he's a little bit underused, but at least so far. But I do like the choices he's making from a performance standpoint, because he gets in a gunfight with our hero, but and he plays it like he's not playing it complete badass mode. He's playing it like I need to be really careful here, or I'm gonna get my ass shot. you know, he. You don't see this often in movie gunfights where someone's like, I really really do not want to get shot here, and there's a good chance in this gunfight that I could get shot. I liked that sense of concern on his face. Um, but there was it introduced some more overarching plot and some mystery and some answers, and you have a character arc going on, even though it took a while to get there, and it's kind of predictable what it would be. But I found that much more compelling and much more engaging. And even though what happens is completely predictable, it does intrigue me as to where it's going from here. Hopefully, someplace unique and fun. I will happily tune in to episode 4, not just because I'm paying for this service, Disney Plus, but because I'm genuinely interested to see what's going on. Jordan says, so Mando has Baby Yoda back, but does he expect to what does he expect to do or go if he takes it to the New Republic? I'd be assuming it works like turning an abandoned child to CPS. You don't really get to stay with the child. That's a good question. What is Mando? Can we just call him Jerry or something? 'Cause I don't like Mando. Um, yeah, exactly. What's his plan here? Um, what's where is he going to go? Is there a Galaxy Child Protective Services that he can go to? Hey, Tiger, good to see you back. Week's been fine. Someone sent wrong side. Someone sent me a sex toy. um, so yeah, Mandalorian. Good stuff. Some other thing on Disney that I've been watching is the Imagineering documentary, documentary. Been quite enjoying that. I'm a it's more history intentionally. It's more history and less behind the scenes, and I'm a behind the scenes guy. I like the nuts and bolts and stuff. I'm like, man, I want to see how all the theme park rides were made and tell me all your secrets because I lived through a bunch of the history that they're starting to get into. The end of the start of the Eisner era, Frank Wells' death, and some of the '90s stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm almost 40. I was alive, so I know what happened. Um, be honest, you binged that High School Musical stuff. I have seen High School Musical 2, I think. I think it was the second one. A friend from work. Um, Boy, that's a sad story. So a friend from work, she loaned me the High School Musical. I think I just mentioned I'd never seen it, and I'm a singer and musician myself. She loaned it to me, I guess, just to see what you think of it. And I watched it, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. I mean, it wasn't something that made me think, boy, howdy, I gotta see the rest of these. Nah, it was fine. It was cute. Um, it did a thing that some musicals do that I hate, and that's when there's a single person singing a song. It's essentially, the character is monologuing but in song, which is fine. It's a musical. That's what's supposed to happen. But what bothers me is when a solo character does a solo number and there's a harmony part sung by who? Who's singing the harmony parts? He's the only one there. Zac Efron, that's the dude who's in it, right? He's walking along a beach going, I'm singing my song. I'm all angsty about stuff. And there's a harmony part. I'm like, who is singing the harmony part? It's taken me right out of the movie. I don't get bothered by who's playing the music, and who choreographed the dance. Yeah, that stuff never bothers me, but it genuinely does bother me when songs are supposed to be solo numbers and there's a harmony part. The only time, off the top of my head, the only time I'm fine with that is if the character is doing a Golem Smeagol type argument with themselves. They're having an internal struggle slash debate over something. That call and response type of music is appropriate for that situation. But when Angsty McAngsterton is just being angsty by the side of the water and singing to the heavens, that's the only time you're going to catch me whine about harmony. Because it shouldn't be there. It's just weird. So, um, so I think there were 3 High School Musical movies, and I noticed on Disney Plus there's like an encore thing, which I think reunites the cast. I think there's a series too. Anyway, I'm not going to. You do know this stuff was made to make 13-year-old girls go gaga, right? Well, with Zac Efron, yeah. Pretty sure they didn't care to think it through. I demand more thought and care and craft be put into my little girl entertainment. Damn it. Little girls deserve better. Um, so yeah, if you were wondering what I was saying, sad story, I'll retell this one. It's a little depressing, but there is kind of an element of humor to this. So, Last week or the week before, within the last couple of weeks, I went to the kitchen to get my protein drink out of the fridge or to wash my lunch dish or something. I don't know what I was doing in there. One of those two things. That's why I go into a lunchroom. And Lorena was in there, and we were chatting. Oh, no, no, no. It was the Thanksgiving thing. So it was the week before this one. We had a Thanksgiving potluck on Thursday, not 2 days ago, a week before that. And so I went in there and I was helping clean up by eating some of the remaining stuff, right? So I was helping Lorena clean up, and she mentioned that she missed Diane, Diane Williamson, who worked for the company. She left last year, and she was the person in. She was our technical documentation writer, but she was also responsible for a lot of the fun stuff. The parties and the events and things like that. She was the event organizer also. So a lot of the time uh, she'd take the lead for stuff like Thanksgiving potluck, help set it up, help coordinate everything, help tear it down. Um, so Lorena was saying, "Man, I miss Diane. She was really good at all this organizing stuff." And I said, yeah, I haven't heard from her in a while. I sent her an email like 2 weeks ago, but I hadn't heard back. And Lorena turns around and looks at me with a face that, upon reflection, read both horror and disgust and confusion. And she said to me, Diane died. And I stood there in stunned silence for a moment or few. And I probably said something intelligent like, what? So Diane passed away 2 months ago. Uh, Her memorial service, as it happened, was the previous Friday. Obviously, I didn't go because I didn't know. But that's why I didn't hear back on the email I sent her in September, because she had just passed away. So that's why Lorena was looking at me like I might be an asshole, because she was wondering if I was trying to make like, just a really bad, poor taste joke. Um, no, I honestly, um, I honestly emailed her in September just to check and see how things were. I was also telling her about the Extra Life charity event, because she was a big fan of that. She has 2 kids, um, and they went to she used the Rady Children's facility when her kids were growing up. So she's a big fan and proponent of the organization, a big supporter of the charity thing I did each year. So I think what I was emailing her for was just to say, hey, how you doing? Hope things are going well. We miss you at work. I'm doing the charity thing again if you want to come hang out on the stream, as she had done in years past. So yeah, that's how I found out she passed away. A couple days after her memorial service. And a couple people at work were just aghast that I didn't know. And I didn't know because nobody told me. It was one of those things where everyone just kind of assumed that someone would have told me, but no, I got missed. So that was uh, that was sad. So so in conclusion, episode 3 of the Mandalorian is pretty entertaining, and I'm looking forward to episode 4. So moving on, let me reorganize my. I want to do this topic first. Let's talk about YouTube and COPPA, the Child Online Protection and Privacy Act. So a couple of like 2 weeks ago, YouTube emails me and everyone else on YouTube and says, hey, um, you gotta mark all of your videos as either for children or not for children. Because we want to be compliant with COPPA, you see, the Child Online Protection and Privacy Act. Now, my first thought was, why? Did the FTC sue you or something? Yes, it turns out yes. Settled for like $170 million, which is pocket change to YouTube. I mean, that's a fraction of what they make in a quarter. Um, so $170 million, that's nothing. I think in 2018 they pulled in like 130, 140 billion in ad revenue. So slapping them with a, well, actually it was a settlement. Because YouTube, you see, what the COPPA is basically what it says is you are not allowed to track to track children and their online habits in order to target them with advertising. YouTube absolutely has been doing that. My second thought when I first heard this was, hey, welcome to 2019, YouTube. COPPA was passed like 20 years ago. Yeah, if you were wondering, COPPA is not like a new law that they just passed and YouTube is frantically going, oh, I better do something. No, I think COPPA was passed in 1998. It's 2 decades old. Nice. So, I've seen online a bunch of video producers being somewhat concerned that the FTC is going to come for them. I doubt that's going to be much of a problem, or at least in a perfect world it shouldn't be, because here's the thing. As a content producer on YouTube, I'm not tracking or targeting children. I'm not I'm not logging anything about my audience, nor am I targeting them with advertising. So I'm no lawyer, and I'm probably completely wrong about this, but from my perspective, got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm not targeting children with advertising, and I'm not tracking any children who watch my videos. I'm not cataloging their online viewing habits to sell. I don't do that. That's not my business. YouTube does that. So this settlement, which again I think was $170 million, included some proviso where YouTube now requires all of its channel operators, dudes like me, to label our videos as either for children or not for children. So once again, it appears that YouTube is sloughing its responsibility off onto the content creators again. So now, one of the problems I had with this thing is it was incredibly unclear what the hell exactly is meant by for children or not for children. Because I consider my videos broadly appropriate for children. There are a few exceptions here and there, but for the I have like 500, 600 videos or something. I would say 99% of them are completely appropriate for children. Most of them are just me yammering about video games. A couple of them have some inappropriate gesticulations. There are a couple bad words in a few of them. There are a couple of them in which I handle an adult toy on camera. Not in an obscene manner, mind you, but I do, hold some type of sex toy on camera with googly eyes. Um, so are my videos for children? Well, they're not made specifically for children. They're made for anyone and everyone. Basically, anyone who would enjoy listening to some dork talk about stuff. Uh, so it was kind of unclear, but I set my videos as not for children because my understanding is not for children doesn't mean inappropriate for children, just not specifically for and targeting children. So that's fine. But what if you were a channel creator who is targeting children, legitimately targeting children, not with any nefarious intent, but what if you're a channel creator who makes educational videos for kids? Science for kids, or history for kids, or electronic engineering for kids. Well, then you got problems, my friends, because starting in January, any video that is set for made for kids will restrict certain features. These features include personal advertising. That I'm not sure exactly what that means. Like, does that mean buy my T-shirts? I've got merch. I've got stickers with my face on them. I I mean, if you're making a Science for Kids YouTube channel and you have stickers that say Science for Kids, can you not advertise that you're selling them? I don't know. All it says here is personal advertising. So, but I know what this next one means. Comments. Comments are disabled. Channel branding watermark is disabled. So if you have Science for Kids, the channel, and you have this real neat Science for Kids logo, it's not going to show as a watermark on your video. If you look in the lower right-hand corner of all YouTube videos, you see that watermark. Mine is just my face because I don't have any artistic talent really, and I didn't commission anyone to draw me a logo. Um, the donate button. No one can give you money. That one actually makes sense. I mean, I can see the thought pattern behind that because you don't want, little kids grabbing their mom's credit card and sending you all her money. I like Andrew the Science for Kids guy. I'm going to take the credit card out of mom's wallet and send him lots of money. That one makes sense, right? I can kind of see that one. Cards or end screens. What? Live chat or live chat donations. Again, live chat donations. I get that one. You want to make sure that if kids are your primary audience, that they can't just spend all their mom's cash on your channel. The notification bell. Frankly, you should get YouTube. Get rid of the notification bell anyway. If people are, here's how it should work. It's real simple. I'll go slow so you can follow this. If a user presses subscribe, all of the videos that I upload should appear in that user's subscription feed. All of them, every time. That's simple. That's it. If someone subscribes to my channel, they should be notified when I upload a video. Period. That's it. They shouldn't have to do extra stuff because that's stupid. I know that's your brand. Stupid, nonsensical, unnecessary stuff that doesn't work. But maybe do something else. Playback in the mini player. Don't know what that is. I mean, it's a player that's small, so you can't play videos in a mini player. I don't know why. Super chat. Again, that makes sense. Super stickers. If those are paid for, that makes sense. And save to playlist. So, my read on that is if you are making a living or supplementing your living by making videos for kids on YouTube, you screwed. And not just because you can't, the kids can't give you money. That I'm okay with, but you can't advertise. It sounds like you can't advertise your own merch, which as long as the kids can't buy anyway, should be fine. But the option to be able to sell stuff should be there. I mean, maybe you could make an argument for that, but no one can interact with your channel. You can't link to any other videos or playlists of yours. No comments, no chat, no end screen. No, man, I'm annoyed, and I don't make videos for kids. Oh, hi, Suzanne. Oh, I've been stuff happening in the chat. Siberian Tiger says, remember the 80s? All the cartoons were designed to sell you a toy. That's broadly true. The difference being kids could not tap on the television screen to buy the toy. They had to beg mom and dad to go to Kmart or Toys R Us and buy it for them. Oh, Susanna's saying no, they are not, especially your last one. I said most of my videos. I have like 600 video. Actually, how many videos do I have? I have, oh my God, 890 videos. They're mostly podcasts, but there are definitely like maybe 15 videos that are probably not for kids. But the last one I uploaded, which is essentially a sex toy unboxing video. Yeah, probably not for your kids. I mean, I don't say any bad words, I don't make any obscene gestures, so I I don't think any kids would be traumatized by that video. I think they'd probably find it funny because this thing is really goofy looking. Um Jordan says, "Yeah, where's my Andrew merch? Need this face on a shirt." Um, Jordan says, "Last I checked, you need to be 18 to even make a YouTube account, even if you never upload. And if you don't have an account, you get age restricted. There's a lot of liars out there." That's true, and I understand that. Some people who are making videos for kids are bad people and preying on kids, and that's definitely not good, obviously, of course, and something that we need to work to stamp out. But um, I'm I am personally willing to make personal sacrifices for the greater good. You know, I'd be willing to put up with some extra hoops to jump through if it made kids safe. Maybe YouTube actually has some really darn good reasons for disabling cards and the end screen. But I don't know what those are. And based on, you know, YouTube's entire history, I'm not inclined to give it the benefit of the doubt. It once again sounds like YouTube is sloughing its responsibility onto us. Again. Which it shouldn't be doing. It shouldn't have been targeting kids in the first place because, as I mentioned, the Child Online Protection and Privacy Act was passed over 20 years ago. Oh, but they settled for a $170 million fine, which that would hurt me. But YouTube? They're like, make that in a day. you know? Uh, da, 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 So, yeah. So I marked my entire channel as not for kids. Of course, keep in mind that I don't make really any money off of YouTube. I don't use YouTube to supplement my income because I can't. I have no views, no advertise. I have not significant enough views to have really any semblance of advertising. I might pull in at my current rate. I might pull in $100 every couple of years, which is nice. I could buy a video game or two, but let's see. That's because you're not selling Eisen face shirts, yeah. So, all right, let's move on to Nintendo. So, Nintendo sent me an email, me personally, addressed to me, because they like me. They probably don't like me. They're not going to like me now because I'm going to be very mean to Nintendo. So Nintendo sent me an email advertising some new features to Animal Crossing Mobile. Animal Crossing Mobile is garbage. And I say that as someone who doesn't like mobile games or Animal Crossing. So probably not the best person to assess the quality of that game. But I downloaded it. I played it as much as you actually can play that game. I don't like it. It's your typical free-to-play mobile game which has almost no actual gameplay. It just has a bunch of cooldown timers that prevent you from actually doing anything, so that you're incentivized to give it money so that you don't have to wait as long to build a bench or a flower pot or some other thing. Um, it's a very boring game where the animals say, "Hey, I'd like 3 of these things." So you pick them up off the ground and you give them to the animal, and the animal says, "Yay, here's a present." That's the entire game. It's really boring. So whenever you fulfill an animal's request, you get coins, and you can use these coins to buy crap, furniture and outfits. A lot of this stuff costs leaf tickets, which you do get in the game, but you could pay money for. It's one of those. It's just a boring game where you can collect digital tosh, and if you're impatient, you can throw money at it. And it throws a lot of roadblocks in your way to make sure that you get impatient so that you're encouraged to throw money at it. Well, now there's a monthly subscription service. Now there are 2 monthly subscription services to Animal Crossing Mobile on top of the other monetization features. The first one costs $3 a month, and what it does is play the game for you. I am not kidding. For $3 a month, you can delegate all of the actual gameplay to one of your camping guests. They'll go run the errands for you so that you don't have to. In other words, Nintendo is letting you give them money so you don't have to play their game. If as a game producer, you think that the prospect of paying money so I don't have to play your game is an attractive offer, your game sucks. But that's not all. There's also, in addition, separately, an $8 a month subscription service to Animal Crossing Mobile, which, and let me pull up the page here. Where is it? Here it is. Which lets you have 5 free cookies. Fortune cookies in this game are loot boxes. You can buy fortune cookies, or you can sometimes get them by completing various tasks in the game. You eat a fortune cookie and you get random digital crap. You know, furniture, outfits, whatever. For $8 a month, you get 5 free cookies. 5. 5. For $8 a month. 5 cookies. Oh, you also get access to a warehouse where you can store up to 5,000 different furniture and clothing items. Maybe I'm selling this short because you can also read the members only Pocket Camp Club Journal. Get a glimpse at items before they're available. The little newsletter also will be, quote, full of ideas about how to design your campsite, as well as special section like Cyrus's sketchbook, daring decor, and more. It'll also shorten crafting times. This is garbage, Nintendo. This is garbage, and you should be utterly ashamed of yourself for pulling this shit. How dare you? I stopped bothering with Nintendo's mobile games a couple games back because, with the exception of Mario Run, incidentally a game that was, you know, pay $10 and you can play the game. It was actually a game that you could play. You just pay $10 and you got a game. It's a pretty good game too. I don't want to play games on my phone because I've got a nice TV, really nice TV. I saved up for it. But for a game that's on a phone, it works pretty well. They didn't just put Mario on a phone, they made a Mario game for the phone format. And it's good for a mobile game. But apparently there's a bunch of people who really don't want to pay $10 for a mobile game. They'd much rather pay hundreds of dollars for a free mobile game with no gameplay. To each their own, I suppose. Nintendo started out their mobile endeavor with Miitomo, which was a social media app. It was mainly kind of a messaging service with your Mii, and you could get clothes, which were super expensive. So it incentivized you to spend money on it so that you could get enough coins or whatever the currency was so that you could buy clothes for your Mii, which didn't really do anything but did look kind of cute. It was crap and it was boring. I mean, everyone downloaded it because it was Nintendo's first mobile game, but interest waned because there was nothing to the game. It was boring. But, you know, everyone, including me, I think, cut Nintendo a little bit of slack. This is their first real stab at mobile games. So, you know, we all got to start somewhere. And then Super Mario Run came out, and I will admit I was really impressed. I thought it was a very good Mario game for the mobile platform. And I thought $10 was a little bit more than I wanted to pay, but I thought that was pretty fair. They gave the first 4 levels for free, and the rest of the game was $10. I thought that was pretty cool. I think there was still there was like another mode where you could build the Toad Castle kind of thing, and I think you could pay for tickets to do something, but the main game was just, you know, $10. You got 8 worlds worth of levels. It's a game. It's an actual game that you can pay money to play, and it's fun. So I was really encouraged. I was like, oh, well, okay, Miitomo was crap. It's a little social media app. Who cares? This is this is looking really interesting. Have I played Mario Kart? No, but I'll get to that. So the next one was Fire Emblem, which is hot garbage. And again, this is coming from someone who doesn't like mobile games or Fire Emblem, so take that with a grain of salt. But it's a free to play game with cooldown timers, and loot boxes. So if you want to play the little Fire Emblem battles, you can play them until you run out of stamina, and at which point you wait a few hours until your stamina bar comes back. Or you could give it money, which is gross. Are there certain characters you like? Well, you can either play a lot of the game to get orbs to spend on essentially a loot box to see what characters pop out. You may get your character, but it may be a 3-star version of that character. Everyone wants Tharja, but you finally get Tharja and it's 3-star Tharja. Aww. Better dump more money in it to get more orbs to keep playing the loot box. That's my pantomiming pulling the lever on a slot machine, you see. So the game is boring because either I completely suck at it, or there is literally no way to play it unless you level up your characters. Because if your party is underleveled, you can't win. Period. You can't win. The enemy will. There's just no way to win. There's no strategy to the game at all. It is simply a game of attrition. There's no strategy, none whatsoever. Which is kind of contrary to the whole point of, Fire Emblem, which is a strategy game. The next one was Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which is crap, and I just talked about that. The next one came out last year. It's called Dragalia Lost, and coincidentally, that's where Nintendo's mobile efforts lost me. It's actually a game. You can play it, but it is so bogged down. It is so buried under microtransaction bullshit that it's just no fun to play. It is constantly running advertisements at you. There is so much crap in this game. It's just not fun. It's got a cute little... The gameplay itself is okay. I kind of like the fact that it only downloads the levels that you're playing. That's kind of interesting. I mean, it sucks if you don't have internet, but... but I thought it was an interesting way to handle data management. I forgot to mention that the reason I ultimately did not buy Super Mario Run is because it's always on. Made a video about that one. I would have actually purchased that game. I would have. I thought it was pretty fun. And I have fine internet here. But to me, it's the principle of the thing. There is absolutely absolutely literally zero reason for Mario Run to be online only, to require an always online connection. That is completely unnecessary, and I am not participating in that DRM crap, so sod off. Dr. Mario World came out this year, and at this point I had just kind of given up on Mario games, but this one seems to work more like like Candy Crush, where you basically can buy... I haven't played it, but my understanding is you can buy power-ups to help you get past levels. Like, you get a certain amount of turns or something per level, and if you're having trouble, you can spend money on characters or power-ups to help you clear the levels. Then the last one was Mario Kart Online, which I also have not played because, again, I just completely gave up on Nintendo stuff. But I've heard some really bad things about that game. For example, it's supposed to be Mario Kart Online, but from what I understand, it's not. It's cheating. Like, the other players are not actually online players. It's also built, all the racing games do that rubber band crap, but this one is built to let you win just enough to keep you going. Also, I think it does the loot box thing for characters, and Mario is actually not in Mario Kart. You have to unlock Mario in Mario Kart. Maybe none of what I said is true, but this is what I've heard. So again, take what I say about Mario Kart with a grain of salt. But I'm very glad. But these two new subscription services into Animal Crossing, which is already a terrible game that is trying to exploit gamers with addictive personalities and impatience to spend money on it, and now they're offering subscription services for, you know, $8 a month for 5 digital loot boxes, or $3 a month, and it will play the game for you. This is disgusting. This really rubs me the wrong way. I don't know if there's a right way to rub me because I'm very prickly and shy, but this is definitely one of the myriad wrong ways that I can be rubbed. Um, I dearly hope. I still love Nintendo. I think it's an excellent. I think they make excellent video games. But it is a sober reminder to those of us who sometimes can forget that companies are not your friends, you know, and are not good. Not necessarily bad either, but they're just entities that exist to make all the money. All of it. I just wish that they, since companies are not people, but they are run by people, and I wish more of them had basic human ethics. You know, making money's fine, but not at all costs. I think there are some costs that are not worth it. I'm very glad that this crap that Nintendo is stuffing its mobile games with is, at least for now, not a part of its console uh, deliverings, deliveries, product output. Output's the word I was looking for. Because Nintendo, you know, I love you, but if you start pulling this shit in, you know, Mario and Zelda and Metroid, you know, the main games on your home console, I won't buy them. You will lose money. Well, you won't get my money, and that probably won't make a damn bit of difference. But it will make me very sad. So, in a way, in a very selfish way, I think as long as you keep it to mobile, I'm okay. Again, from a very self-centered perspective, you know, keep it out of the environment that I prefer. But really, I'd prefer you just not do this crap on any platform because it's disgusting, gross, and wrong, and it hurts people. Also, the games are terrible. Not the good games. It's like, well, I mean, some people are getting hurt, but damn, that's a good game. No, I'm saying it's just insult to injury. The games suck too. So make good games and stop exploiting the vulnerable. It it breaks my soul a little bit to learn that you, Nintendo, are just as bad as the worst out there. That makes me unhappy. Be better, Nintendo. Please. Chaos says they're nowhere near as bad as Activision or EA. I would agree with that, because Activision and EA's crap is all over PC and console. Um, Tiger said, recapping what I said, yeah, you can love Nintendo, and I do, but love Nintendo. Finishing Tiger's comment, you can love Nintendo, but understand that they are not your friend. That's true. Um, when you love someone very, very much, when you love a company, love them for the right reasons. Um, love them for providing entertainment that you enjoy. You know, Because if it goes more than that, then you can get it's easy to become a defensive dick. you know, like some people might hit up the comments and say, "Well, you hate Nintendo now, and you're a bad person for hating Nintendo," um, which is not true in multiple ways. I don't hate Nintendo. I hate this specific thing that Nintendo's doing, but I don't overall hate Nintendo. And even if I did, that doesn't make me a bad person. Well, I mean, makes you weird if you're just hating someone. Well, I mean, Now this is a good thing to hate. But Nintendo also does some really good stuff besides making great games. Or rather, the people that run Nintendo often do some really great things. Remember Satoru Iwata? You know, the company wasn't doing great, so he and some of the upper management took pay cuts, I think 2 years in a row, so that they didn't have to fire anyone. That's great. That's not only moral and ethical, but that's smart business sense. Of course, Satoru Iwata's dead now. That's very sad. Jordan says, I really. But I really want a microtras. I think you got enough typos in there that I'm not following your comment, buddy. Um, I enjoy Valve, but I still think it's a bad move with all those weapon skins in Counter-Strike Go and opening loot boxes. Jordan says, it's like Andrew's talking to his kid. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Um, yeah, yes, Jordan. I think that's essentially my feelings on the matter. I'm not outright mad with Nintendo because I kind of expect this, but I want it to do better. I know it can do better. They can all do better, but Nintendo's my favorite. So that's my personal stake in it. You know, I'm a longtime Nintendo fanboy, so I want it to be great, and I want it to earn my love. You ain't getting my love for free, Nintendo. You got to earn it. Maybe through some microtransactions you can buy it, but until then, Nintendo, you mind, Daddy Andrew. All right, let's switch topics, and someone just mentioned this a bit ago. Who did? Tiger mentioned Valve. So the last thing I'd like to talk about is Half-Life Alyx. No, no, you don't get Half-Life 3. You don't get Half-Life 2 Episode 3 either. You're never gonna get that. At this point, it's like Valve's doing this on purpose, isn't it? But Valve actually made a game. It's called Half-Life Alyx. It's in the Half-Life universe. It stars Alyx. And because they want as few people to play it as possible, it's a VR game. Now, to be fair, it looks fine. But I'm not going to play it because I don't have VR. That would kind of be like releasing a wide theatrical 3D movie now. It's like, you missed the craze, guys. No one cares anymore. Maybe Half-Life Alyx will rejuvenate the people's interest in VR, and that will be the what kicks off the VR craze, and everyone's going to have a headset. But I doubt that. Love to be wrong, but I doubt that. I just find it interesting that people have been gamers have been salivating for more Half-Life for years and years and years, and they come out with a Half-Life game that doesn't look half-assed. It looks like a fine VR title. The presentation looks fine. If it plays well, I'm sure it does. Nice humor. Visual aesthetic is on point. Looks like it's got some interesting scenarios, but you are appealing to like the small. You may as well release the damn thing on the Wonder Swan or the Nokia N-Gage, Valve, because you remember when Metroid Federation Force came out, and that pissed everyone off. The reason it pissed everyone off, Andrew explains to everybody. The reason it irritated so many people is because it had been years and years and years since a proper Metroid game. You can't do a spin-off. You can, but it's generally not wise to do a spin-off when people are starving for the main course. You know? If someone's starving to death, bringing them a dinner mint is just gonna kind of piss them off. And I like dinner mints; they're yummy. Give me a whole bowl. But man, if it's been like 2 days since I've eaten and I'm starving to death, and you're like, "Oh, this dinner's gonna be good. I'm making all this good stuff," and then you bring me a single dinner mint, yeah, I'm going to get a little pissy at you, and I think understandably so. If you had announced if we had just come off of a Metroid game, a big, Metroid Prime 4, and then the next year you announced Federation Force, people would be like, "Oh, a little spin-off title while we wait for the next one. It's cool. Might even be cool. Check it out." Same thing here with Half-Life. It's been years and years and years and years, and you come up with a VR title. What do you think's going to happen, Valve? What do you think's going to happen? The same thing that happens every time one of you goofballs pull this. Fans are going to be annoyed. Now, if Half-Life 3 or Half-Life Episode 2 Part 3, whichever one, had come out last year or even 2 years ago, I think people would think this was really neat. But since so many have been chomping at the bit for the better part of a decade or more, because I don't remember when Half-Life 2 Episode 2 came out, and I'm too lazy to type it into Wikipedia here, I think they'd be fine with it. But, well, hey, here's hoping that Half-Life Alyx is good. Let's see. Jordan says it doesn't look half-assed, but it does. But does it seem? Oh, I see what you're going. Not half-assed, but half-life. Very good. Tiger says I see why they went with the Half-Life Alyx, but after 10 years, I'll take what I can get. Yeah, because you have no choice, and it looks fine. It looks fun. If you have VR anyway, because if you don't, well, you've got a. What do you think they're going to charge for it? $30, maybe. I don't know what the various VR headsets cost now. They're probably still a few $100s at least. I'm sure they've dropped in price over the last couple of years, but they're probably still a fair chunk of change. And if you don't have a VR headset now, it's probably because you didn't want one. So, if you didn't want one, you'd have to be, man, one heck of a Half-Life fanatic to shell out. This is what I've been waiting for. I'm sure there's plenty of people like that, but yeah, this strikes me as a very odd choice on Valve's part. Especially for a company as lazy as Valve. I was actually surprised to see they made a game. Pardon me. Instead of just pouring that straight down my throat, I should actually swallow. Yeah. Why swallowing takes muscles? Why exert the effort when you can just dump the liquid in your mouth and have it run straight down your throat and into your stomach? Half-Life VR bundle coming for holiday. Is that been announced, or is that been announced? If it was announced, I didn't see it, but that would not surprise me. Is it the Vive Is that Valve's a VR solution, the Vive? That's theirs, right? Or is it the Oculus? No, it's the Vive, right? Someone in the chat let me know because I don't remember anymore. So, when episode 2 came out, I remember people saying it was just a little out of date, says Tiger, compared to other first person shooters that were out at the time. I still recall it being fairly well received. I do, from what I understand, though, there was supposed to be another episode. It like ends in a cliffhanger or something. I don't know if this is the unnumbered sequel to that or no. This is wait a minute. I heard it. I think it was a prequel. It takes place before the events of Half-Life 2. I don't know if that's true. I remember hearing that, or maybe I just made it up. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's it for this week. It's been an hour. It's been a fine discussion. Hopefully, I'll have some more light-hearted topics to talk about next week because I was really down this. No, I like the Mandalorian, but I called out YouTube, called out Nintendo, called out Valve. Yeah, kind of a bummer this week. Um, Workplace simulator where you can burn down your office, says Suzanne. Yeah. Tiger says, I've been curious what's going on before Gordon came around, so looking forward to that. Yeah, again, the game looks fine. I mean, nothing wrong with the game. I'm just really surprised that they came out with a VR title. I mean, at least it wasn't Half-Life mobile title. I mean, man, who would take a beloved IP that people have been waiting for years for a new installment in, and then announce a mobile version? Right, Blizzard? Oh man, oh that would be silly. So, Jordan says I need more Baby Yoda in my life like now. Yeah, Baby Yoda's pretty darn cute. I like Baby Yoda. Um, so why does the remnants of the Empire want Baby Yoda? Maybe they're trying to. I'm gonna think they're trying to make a weapon out of it. They're like, its midichlorian count is off the chart. We can harness that into a planet-destroying laser or something. Banjo 3 for mobile, yeah. Tiger says, not Half-Life Mobile. Well, not that you were mentioned that. I'm counting the blessing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Half-Life Mobile would have been worse, but so okay, everyone, have a lovely. Oh, yeah. Watch my YouTube videos. I just did a sex toy unboxing. That was fun, cause it, cause it cause it looks like a blobfish. Really sexy. Yeah. And follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen. Uh, have a good week and try and think more about Baby Yoda than sexy blobfish. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.